Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to talk about Snowflake interview questions and answers 48. This is the 8th video from Snowflake interview questions and answers playlist. Question 1. Is it possible to suspend a specific cluster in a multi-cluster virtual warehouse rather than whole virtual warehouse is suspended? The answer is no, because in Snowflake if you create any virtual warehouse with multi-cluster, then there is no syntax to suspend any cluster from that virtual warehouse. So the answer straightforward is no. Here is the example virtual warehouse with max cluster count 3. That means this is a multi-cluster virtual warehouse. This is the syntax to suspend entire virtual warehouse instead of cluster wise. There is no such syntax in Snowflake as of now. So the answer is no. Question 2. When loading data through copy command, it is a requirement that your table and the file from which the data is being loaded should have the same order of columns. The answer is no. Why? Because let me explain. Okay, here this is the file which having the two rows and these are the column names. Okay, and this is the table. Here C1 order of the column, C1 is the first column and C2 is the second column, C3 is the third column and C4 is the fourth column. But here while loading any CSV file into Snowflake table, we have to use the file format. So while creating the file format, we have to mention that are you going to ignore the column headers or not. So ideally most of the cases we are going to ignore the column headers line. That means first line would considered as a column headers. So if you ignore the column headers and you will load the data from second row onwards. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether order. So is do you need to same between file and your table. So for example, if you see copy command here, copy into test copy from this is the stage and files is equal test copy dot csv. This is the test copy. So what it will do, it will first value 4 will insert into column C1 and 3 will insert into column 2 and 2 insert into column 3, 4 insert into 1 insert into column 4 if data type match. If there is no data type mismatch, then it will insert. Otherwise if there is any data type mismatch from the file and table, like in file we have a varchar and a table if it is a number, then that particular row will get error. That is only restriction. Okay, so another, see, if you see, this is the where partially loaded. Why? Because if you see column 3 and column 4 defined as a data type as number, but here the order from for the row 1 column 3 from the file is the 2 is the varchar, column 4 value is the 1. So if you load the data from using this command, so the file get loaded, but load status is the partial loaded, because the second row, see, first column is the 1, so varchar, and the second column value is the, sorry, here spelling mistake here, so varchar, and the rest of 3 and fourth column value is the numeric only. So one row loaded and out of two rows, another one is the numeric value 2 is not recognized. This is the error. That's why we got the partial load. To avoid this one also, you can do like this: copy into test, you can specify the column names over here any order irrespective of your table. Okay, this is like our insert statement. From, you can read any order here also. Here I have mentioned the $1, $2, $3, $4. You can mention whatever you want in this reverse order. First you can read the fourth column like $4, like that. So this is okay. Order is, or number of columns is not mandatory. Okay, I mean equal the order. here is the scenario. See here, I created one table. This is this dim underscore date underscore test, having three columns: year, month, both having the number, and month and date. So after creating the table, I've inserted these four rows without month and date. Okay, only year and month. Now select star from dim underscore data underscore test. This is the data. Now question: write a update statement to update month and date column value as a valid month and date by using year and month columns from dim underscore date underscore test table. See here, expected output would be like this. Please note that here the year is 2020, it is a leap year, so month and date should be, and also month is February. So for February, for leap year, 29 days. Similarly here, if you see 20, year is the 2021 and month is the February, so expected value should be 28. And if you see here 2020, another row for year, and month is the April, so for April the month and date should be 30th only. And for another year, the month is the 3, and if you see here March, this is the March, so month and date should be 31. Okay, so this is the expected output. So the answer is update dim underscore date underscore test set month and date is equal to last day to date, last day of to date of. Here we need to, because in the columns year and month we don't have the full information, because day information is missing. So to get the month and date, first you need to get the valid date. To get the valid date, we have a year and month. So in every month, each month we have, it should start with the 01. So that is the constant. That's why you can concatenate 01 with the your month. Here why I am using the LPAD, because month having the two digits, so one, I mean 0102, but in this table we have created a month column as a number. Even if you, while inserting, if you keep the 02, it would take only 2. So 0 is missing. That's why I'm using the LPAD. If 0 is not there, okay, then adding the 0 and concatenating year after that. So my date dd YY, once the date is converted into date, these three values, and then by using the last underscore day function, you can get the month and date like this. 4. The load metadata, which maintains which files have already been loaded for a table, expires after how many days? The answer is 64 days. By using the last modified date, we can decide that it's a 64 days. See, generally when you load any file into table, so Snowflake maintains the load metadata. Like Snowflake maintains detailed metadata for each table into which data is loaded, including name of the each file, from which data was loaded, file size, e-tag for the file, number of rows parsed in the file, timestamp of the last load for the file, information about any errors encountered in the file during loading. So basically after 64 days metadata will be expired. Question 5. What are the different types of streams in Snowflake? The answer is 3 types, and they are standard, append only, insert only. See, a standard or a delta table stream tracks all DML changes to the source table, including insert, update and delete. Whereas append only, an append only table stream tracks row inserts only. So suppose if you have a table and then you created a one stream on the table, so if you want to capture only append only, that means it's insert only, you can create a stream type as the append only. Okay, insert only is the third one, supported on external tables only, and insert only stream tracks row inserts only. In Snowflake we have a different types of tables are there. One is the external table, and a base table, a transient table and temporary table. So for external tables, we can create a streams. Okay, what type of stream we can create? Insert only stream. Yeah, that's all from this video. Thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, like it and share it to your friends. Thank you once again.